Hello everyone, I am Manu Inderkaur, a clinical psychologist and I am practicing in Tri-City. Today we are with Dr. S.K. Bansal. Sir is a neurologist. He has a huge experience in neurosciences. For over 5 decades, he had worked in PGI and other eminent institutes in India and across. So, Sir has written a very good book on the mind. Do you want to change it? This is the title of the book, and he's here today with us to talk more about his book. So, sir, we welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So, sir, we would like to know briefly about this book that you have written.
Yes, see, this book is basically science. Over and above, I have accounted my 5 decades experience, and the main ingredients is all the scientific ingredients of brain and mind, functioning of the mind, functioning of the brain, as well as its offshoots, in which way body is being driven or our emotions are being driven as far as our brain and mind is concerned. So the confusion between the brain and mind has been taken care of, and what are the genesis, in which way the mind is made, or in which way it props up, in which way it is different from brain, and how we can, how does this work, how we can change it for something good. Because the ultimately goal is for every human being, or I'll say for every living being, is to have a good life. And a good life is what that particular individual feel like. It can vary from person to person or individual to individual, but at the same time, by and large, if there is a collective opinion about something good, something useful, something meaningful, that is defined or accepted more in a better way as compared to one individual own self. But at the same time, that's also one of the important things. So I kept all those things in mind, and basically, though it's my narrative, which is based purely on the science, whatever, and nothing has been hypothesized or some sort of conjectures, nothing like that. This is pure science, which comes out and brings out one by one, layer by layer, from the basic biochemistry and other things, the functioning of that of the brain as far as the mind is concerned, how the mind involves, how it works, and in which way this can be changed for the use. And this is basically all the basic ingredients on the basis of which, with a good understanding, with a good reading, one can come out surely with a substance with which one can make one's own good recipe, wherein one can define one's own role, to one's own self-liking, dislikings, to the family, good work-life balance, and as far as the living stay, short stay or the long stay, individual's perspective, as far as this earth is concerned. But I feel that this self-help type of books, which are science-based, they are more meaningful, and that's what this book is.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir. So today we are going to discuss about certain very important topics that sir has already been covered in his book. So first of all, sir, I would like to know a little about feelings and emotions. What could be the origin and different types of emotions and feelings in human body, since they are the very basis of us. They make us. They rule our behavior, our thought process. So can you just briefly tell us about that?
Yeah. So I like to, because this is a real big topic, and like to brief the things only. First of all, I will say, as far as the feeling is concerned, they are just glued with the thoughts. So I'll say their primary feelings are the primary thoughts, and then their secondary thoughts, more dwell thoughts, and ultimately these are thoughts piled up, emotions piled up, or group together. They form intellect to intelligence to wisdom to knowledge and learning and communications and defining one's own self, skills and behavior, everything. So in that way, this was again, to me also, it was something like, from where these feelings come? You see, whether they are just a part of the consciousness or whether they are different from that, and from where, is this a more like thought and more like electrical energy which is being generated at the brain cell or the neuronal level? Possibly, yes. As far as the feelings are concerned, there are different types of feelings. This is more like a subjective phenomenon. You see, I'll come to emotions, but first of all, let me tell you, as far as the feeling is concerned, they are the more like small bits which collectively comes together to form a particular type of emotion. And these feelings, they usually start along the thought, because thoughts affect the feeling, feeling affects the thoughts. So once they come out of the brain, the neurons, that's the beginning, because that's ultimately going to be meaningful, because thoughts endless, just like the sky of thought, and so are the feelings. So ultimately, the feelings, if we are going to talk of the emotions we are going to talk of, they have been defined for better conceptualization, semantic purpose, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary means which are basic feelings, which is found in all of us, like fear, anger, or being happy, or sad, or there is some sort of dejection or disgust. Because after some trust issues or surprise, these are the basic feeling which is seen all over the world in each one of us. The content can vary, the essence of feeling can vary, the duration can vary, and it varies in the same person from situation to situation. As I always say, as far as the time, place, person is concerned, this does affect everything. I mean, whatsoever I have said right now, in case again I'm going to say the same thing, possibly not in the same way, with the same sort of emotion, same sort of voice, right? So in that way, I will say that feelings, the primary feelings, and then there are secondary feelings, and then there are tertiary feelings. So what secondary and tertiary feelings are, when we are learning more and more about the feelings are concerned. I will touch this topic later to a little extent as far as secondary or tertiary feeling is concerned. But before that, I must say that there is a duality as far as the feelings are concerned, emotions are concerned, and I will say even the thinking process is concerned. But somehow, as far as the duality is concerned, it is seen more in emotions and feelings. Because right now, suppose if I want to, I'm not happy with some particular thing, what is going in my mind, what is going in my brain is, there is maybe duality, or there may be even multicentricity or multiple opinions which is coming. Should I respond in a nice way? Should I be angry? Should I leave the place? Or should I take somebody's help? In which way I should be? Should I shout? Should I just come into the argument? Or should I be decisive? Should I be judgmental? In which way I should be? So even in our own self, we are divided into many bits, what to do and what not to do, as far as our feelings are concerned, right, and as far as our emotions are concerned, because all these things depend upon our slow learning, because ultimately learning the language, words, thoughts, thinking process, and observation, because unless we know all these things in the substratum of that of the consciousness, we cannot move ahead. So this all do depend upon cognition. Of course, cognition is consciousness, memory, orientation, and intelligence, and insight. And over and above the basic consciousness, from where I feel that from the consciousness there is a memory, and from the memory there is feelings, there are thoughts glued together. They come up to form emotions. So there are thoughts, there are emotions. They do walk together, hand in hand, sometimes separate also, with some sort of disparity also. But for a common objective, clear objective, to make our life wonderful, useful, meaningful. Yes. See, as far as other things like other emotions, which is again very common, is in the process, once the ego comes in, you see man-made ego. So comes in, there comes the identity. And identity from where? From the co-mates. I mean, maybe from the family member, or the second bigger family, maybe from our office colleagues, or maybe from other people's, because we want to get identified. So that is an indirect way of, you can say it's a self-respect, but at the same time, there's a difference between the pride, self-respect, identity, ego. So I'll say once we come to the identity, so we want to surpass the others. So let's say, as far as the acquisition of money is concerned, status is concerned, the happiness quotient is concerned. See, that's what it is. We are not happy what we are having. We are unhappy what others are having. So that breeds some sort of challenge to the identity. Why it should be? I don't know, because we cannot be, any one of us over the world, over the globe, can become or can own the whole of the globe. Not even a small city, I would say. So in that way, what is the big deal? Why get annoyed to one own self, or get into some sort of distrust or jealousy or manipulative behavior as far as the emotions are concerned? Once we come to the identity, I feel that the reasonable amount of identity, pride, as well as self-respect is important, but doing over, because ultimately the balance is required everywhere. In as far as the different walks of our life is concerned, the balance is needed. Say it emotions, say it feelings, say it maybe thoughts. If there is a racing of thoughts, which can be there, one of the component which may be triggered by some sort of emotions.
Right.
So that is going to be bad. We are going to overdo it, or we are going to underdo it. So most of the time it results into, as far as the emotions are concerned, into so-called psychosomatic disorder, psychological,
Right.
and soma means body, which is related to the body. So there are so many as far as the disturbed emotion is concerned, emotional challenges are concerned. There is going to be things like some numbness of the hands and the feet, or there is some dry tongue, some bumps in the abdomen, palpitation of the heart, breathlessness, or there may be buzzing in the ear, there is some sound in the ear. There may be headaches, there may be sweating, there may be some unpleasant loss of appetite, low mood, dejection, hopelessness, negative thinking. So all these things are going to pile up unless this is really taken care of by virtue of catharsis. There are so many other means into very bad type of health. It is going to challenge our immunity, it is going to challenge our good health, blood pressure. It is going to push us to so-called coronary personality. Coronary personality means those persons who are more prone to have heart attacks, more prone to have high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, obesity, diabetes. So all these things, because these are all related to our emotions and thinking process. In case we become the master of our emotion and thinking process, this is going to be of immense use.
Right.
Another important thing I will say, as far as the emotion is concerned, just like the thoughts, it is a dynamic process. It keeps on changing. So by default, as far as the emotions are concerned, may it be primary, secondary, or tertiary, this is being taken care of by the mind rather than the brain.
Okay.
Surely, but for sure, as far as the feelings are concerned, they start. Even the thought process also, this starts in the brain. But ultimately, brain is, as I already said in one of my lecture, it's more like a king. So it is just take up the issues and decide and give the responsibility to the mind. So likewise, in that way, I'll say the emotion begets emotions, or there are many emotions which come in, and they are all taken care of by the subconscious mind.
Okay.
Because a huge amount of data which is lying in the subconscious mind, as far as the emotion is concerned, these are our emotions only, which is ultimately going to cause our habit formation, our belief system, as well as our attachment, our behavior, our love, our concern, our mobility is concerned. So basically, sometimes people say it is a separate fact that emotion is our drive.
Right.
At the same time, emotion is our trouble. So there has to be balance. In case there is a good balance, for example, if I am an egoistic man, it's okay, because that's going to be my drive to do something, right? But at the same time, too big a ego is going to create problem for me, because overdone definitely going to cause a lot of mental, physical problems.
Right.
So that is not done, because that's going to affect the quality and quantity of life. So that's what we should seek in, the best balance between all these things. And then another important thing is what is the difference between feelings and thought. You see, in feelings, usually feelings are related with, in the layman language, with the heart, and the thoughts are related more with the brain. So thought means it's a sort of well thought, analyzed act, and the emotion is quick.
Yeah.
And so it's a sort of attachment detachment. So emotion is you can say attachment without any thinking process. There may be a child who wants to catch the fire at 2 years of age. Obviously, he doesn't know it's a repercussion, and the child who is 80 years old knows the repercussion. So the 2-year child is going to use his emotions, and the 80-year-old child is going to use his thoughts. So because ultimately the thoughts, so that's why in case these are the thought process as far as the emotion is concerned, it's going to be a good way of accepting, taking or giving the things. So that's going to be more like a healthy type of emotion, which is going to, one is going to brood about all these things. Right? That's what I wanted to say about this in short. Yes.
Right, sir. So, sir, in general, what is the extent and the duration of these feelings? You know?
Yeah. You see, all this differs because this is all related with our neurohormones. There are certain, everyone knows, there is a adrenaline rush. There is a basic, one of the most important emotion is fear. Possibly we come on this earth, this planet with fear. So fear is useful also, fear is bad also.
Right.
Why fear is useful? Because a small amount of fear is useful while crossing the road. I'm not going to close my eyes and going to cross the road. Same is true as far as a person, a child or adolescent person is going to appear in the exam, and he's going to, there is no fear that person is not going to make any good preparation as far as the exam is concerned. So small amount of fear is important, and this depends upon the need, depends upon the situation, depends upon the one's personality, and depends upon the environment. The quantum of that of the emotions they change. So depending upon the need and the response, stimulus and response, there is a release of different type of hormones in the brain. And these hormones, the main important, everyone knows, the fear hormone is basically the adrenaline. See, basically, as far as the structure which is responsible for the release of the adrenaline is some parts of our body which is lying in the upper part of that of the kidney, but that is under the domain of the amygdala, which is again you can say that is the in charge of all these emotions. That is the superhead of all the orchestra of the emotions as far as the amygdala is concerned. So it doesn't think, because it doesn't have that sort of power. It is just a commander, and it's going to give a different type of instructions, and depending upon the type of emotion, there is going to be type of neurohormone. But at the same time, as I said, that as far as the adrenaline or non-adrenaline is concerned, this is relatively good for fight or flight. In case there is a threat, we all can have different type of threat. Threat by virtue of the natural calamities, as far as the relationship is concerned, as far as the socio-economic condition is concerned, political environment is concerned, or so many things is concerned. We are continuously under threat. Maybe bacteria, biological thing, recently past corona. So in that way, in case the threat is too big, there can be too much of neurohormone which can come. So, but at the same time, what your question was, this is a very valid question, because as far as the adrenaline and non-adrenaline is concerned, usually once released, they remain in the blood for about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
There are certain other hormones as far as dopamine. No, dopamine remains usually for about 30 minutes or 1 hour.
Okay.
So that's a cool hormone.
Okay.
So the hormone which is going to create us anger and agility and lot of turmoil as far as our body and the various organs are concerned is going to persist more. Even if we are going to calm ourselves, try to do some sort of various vagus stimulation and so many other things, but releasing the dopamine is going to be less effective as compared to, so better to check the adrenaline, of course, to increase the dopamine.
Right.
Another important hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin is basically love hormone. This is released in a good quantum during sex. It's not only during sex, but once there is something which is close to your heart, which is close to the same sort of birds or feather flock together like situation. You are having the same sort of emotion, you are deeply involved with each other. So oxytocin is going to be there. But usually the oxytocin is very short-lived, for a few minutes only. And that's why we feel that sort of thing only for a few minutes. So there is another important thing which I was discussing with my grandson. This was more like, he told me that he's on dopamine detox. So what is this dopamine detox? So I was more inquisitive. What does he mean? This is the present day terminology. Dopamine detox means once we are having too much of dopamine, that we are good, we are good in eating fast food, we are good eating seeing the TV or the monitor or the phone for hours and hours and hours together. We are good to hang around with our friends at the cost of our health, at the cost of our study, at the cost of our other commitment, which is individualized. So why? Because we feel good in it. We feel dopamine which is coming out. So can we? So in that way, dopamine is a good hormone. But again, for something good, there is a intoxication. So let me put in another example. On Sunday, everyone takes the liberty of sleeping for half an hour, 1 hour more.
Right, sir.
So we cannot take all the days as Sundays. So the other days we have to work. So in case we are going to put that other days also to the subject of releasing more dopamine and just be casual about it. So obviously that's what he said. It's possible one should be having a good dopamine detox, means a control on self or control on one's own emotion. Yeah.
Right, sir. Okay. So, sir, for our esteemed viewers, can you simplify the term neural correlation and emotional quotient? And what is the role of emotional quotient in our life?
Yes. You see, this is a very good discussion. First of all, I will say that there was a time when we now also we are harboring more about intelligence quotient. See, people did have a lot of intelligence quotient now also, and the intelligence quotient is more related with our brain, and emotional quotient is more related with our mind. So because the emotions lies basically in the mind, though it starts as I said it in the brain, but mind takes care basically all the emotions, primary, secondary. Once there is a more and more issues, they come in after observation, after experience, after getting into the experience. Because in case, for example, if I had some notion or some viewpoint for something, for particular emotion, but by virtue of having a bad experience with that particular emotion, so my perspective will be changed. So with that sort of phenomenology, one, as far as the emotional quotient is concerned, that becomes surely more enriched, right? So first of all, I'll say as far as the emotional quotient, and even I'll say the intelligence quotient, to a reasonable extent, it is our own doing. It is our own ownership. It's our own takes, and we have to come up very smartly, vigilantly, as far as borrowing all these things from the very beginning, from our early age. Has to be disciplined, has to be caring that it's not like that, just like a balanced diet. So we cannot take anything whatsoever we feel like, forgetting. One cannot take vitamin, and can say that my body is good. Of course, we need a perfect balanced diet. So same is perfect sort of situation, or the various type of emotions, or various type of thoughts which is required to make one's personality, one's aptitude, behavior, and thinking process in the right perspective. So for all those things, emotion plays a pivotal role.
Okay.
So in the present day scenario, I will say, and that's a fact also, that everything evolves. Right now also we are evolving, we are trying to come up with something. Everything you think of, as far as this world is concerned, as far as this planet is concerned, as far as this universe or the multiverse is concerned, everything is changing, it is evolving, there is a regeneration, there is a degeneration, but we have to find the best from whatsoever is available. Whatsoever the Almighty is there to give us everything, every minute, every second, every nanosecond. It is our take, in which way we take the best, in which way we put the seedling, we put in the right earth, or in the right time. So that is useful. I always say, as far as the child rearing is concerned, as far as the childhood experience is concerned, you see, we were talking of emotional aberrations. So the emotional learning or other things go hayway once there is some sort of child abuse, or some sort of capital punishment, or some sort of shame, or which has been put forth to one individual, especially to the fair sex, because these are the deep-rooted bad emotions, or these are the pent up emotions which is going to create a lot of problem short of in case we are not vigilant in developing emotional intelligence.
Okay.
So the emotional intelligence, emotional knowledge, and emotional know-how is very, very important. So just like thinking process, the emotional quotient is important. And in the present day world, it's obviously it's very important. See, as initiative is concerned, drive is concerned, courage is concerned, or the taking up new startups are concerned, or even getting into good relationship is concerned, emotion plays a pivotal role.
Absolutely.
You see, as far as the heart is concerned, that's why we say heart strong. So heart strong means emotion, right? But at the same time, as I said, it has to be balanced. One should not be emotional fool. Those persons who are having less of emotional intelligence or the EQ, emotional quotient, they are going to be or can be made emotionally full by a person on the other side. Let's talk of the love between the two persons who are in living relations. There may be a guy either side. I'm no one to decide, but who is not sincere, and the other guy may be more emotional. So there one can make the other party more like an emotional fool and take advantage of that. So I'll say in all walks of life, particularly in the present day world, emotional quotient is very important. Emotional quotient in case we take other things along with, like intelligence quotient, like social quotient, and do hard work, then sky is the limit as far as achieving the things.
Right, sir. Very well. So, sir, what is this emotional pain, and is there a way that we can check it?
Yeah, see, again, it's a self-woven thing. As far as the emotional pain is concerned, most of the time we live in our own world. As far as our thoughts process is concerned, desires are concerned, as far as our mindset is concerned, our attitude is concerned, and we find that this person should be like this, or that thing should be in this way, or I am going to want this sort of relationship, I want this sort of job, I want this sort of money as far as the reward for my job is concerned. So this is our own take, and we keep on thinking and making different type of emotions. Because, for example, if I'm in a corporate life, and if I'm having a package, so in case the package is made almost 1.5 times, so my emotion is going to be bubbly, right? You see, we have to think, is this what we required? Is this going to garnish our futuristic life? Possibly no, because there is no free lunch. They are going to make you more run. They are going to see here the company person, whosoever is giving you a lot of money, is going to see what is your breaking point. So at the cost of your health, at the cost of your family, at the cost of your emotions, you are doing all these things. So you are going to be in emotional pain. There are so many other reasons also as far as the emotional pain is concerned. We all live ultimately, as our life is concerned, in our own cocoon, in our own sort of comfortable zone. So as and when we are thrown out of our comfortable zone, for example, if there is a loss of some near dear, loss of the partner, which is going to be the maximum sort of stress. This has been well worked out in one of the university in India, where the loss of partner, even irrespective of the, especially in the old age, is going to do at least 50% of your this stress reserve out, kicked out.
Okay.
So, this is going to cause lots of emotional pain, emotional turmoil. So, if there is a socio-economic condition, if you are thrown out of your pride, or if you are going to have financial loss, there is going to be emotional pain. If your relationship is jeopardized, abused, or there is a deception, or there is adultery, there is again going to be emotional pain. And these things are going to be more in case we are not emotionally mature, in case we don't have a good emotional quotient. So I feel these are the easy prey. And another important thing is emotional pain. One of the important thing is the emotions, they are in habit of piling up. So one after the another, one after the another, one after the another. It's always better to share with whomsoever you feel like that this is the person who is going to be good to me, are going to understand me. So rather than pent up emotion, one should be just doing the catharsis well in time as far as the emotional pain is concerned. Short of that, in case this is let go, then there is going to be a lot of problem. Lot of physical problem, mental problem, social problem, financial problem. I'll say this will change your existence. So this is one of the very important things is concerned as far as the emotional pain is concerned. See, we are in this world, we are going to have some newcomer as far as the family system is concerned. We are going to have someone who will leave us. And there is going to be more pain when there is some unexpected loss on one or the other form. But it's a life. We have not come with something, we came empty-handed, we go empty-handed. Let's be more fair with our own self, with our own self-love, and we should generate everything in the righteous way, in the actual way, which is good for our own liking, so that we take care of all those things in the positive way as far as the emotions are concerned, thinking process is concerned, the relationship is concerned, and all those things concerned, so that we are able to withstand all those meek or bleak times.
Yes. Right, sir. So, sir, our emotions, like you mentioned earlier also, they are directly linked. There's a two-way relationship between our emotions and our thoughts. What we are thinking might be driven from what we are feeling, or what we are feeling might be driven from what the thought just came.
Yeah.
So, what is the cause of the development of these negative thoughts?
Yes. So negative thoughts is it's again our perspective. Of course, we ultimately come, and it all depends. I don't know whether at this stage I should say that it's all destiny. Whether destiny is destiny, or this is basically our own deeds which is going to make the destiny. And this is some sort of open discussion.
Right.
And in that way, as far as the thoughts are concerned, you said about the thoughts.
Yes.